Unmuted? Yes. Is it? I don't know. I can't hear it. Can you guys hear it?
No. I'm not supposed to be able to.
Episode 207. Yeah, you fit. Yeah, you got it for me. All right. Tonight on this episode, we have 3 guests. Welcome, guys.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, you feel very welcome.
What's up?
That exciting little intro you just gave me.
So tonight I have Dropbear, Byron and Leah coming on. And so you guys are the Bipolar group, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or Bipola with an A.
Minus Lucien, he couldn't make it tonight. He has to work, the poor cunt.
Bloody Lucien. Yeah. Where are you when we need you?
He's in Boddington.
Is that where he is in Boddington?
He has to work overnight on like a recall job that just got sent back to him, so...
Well, hopefully you're watching, Lucien. We'll have you here in spirit.
Yeah.
So you guys are a hip-hop, like hip-hop power group, right? I was going to say duo.
I'd like to think of us as a power group.
But
Yeah, that's the ultimate goal, I guess, yeah.
Wear heaps of spandex if that's the case.
Just dress like Power Rangers. Like.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
No, it started out... No, it started out as a duo with me and Dropbear years ago. 8 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, so you guys been doing it for quite a while then.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
This is our first song playing right now.
What song is this?
This is
we've got
called
it playing in the background. Hopefully
Take
everyone watching Take It.
Yeah.
Take It.
The first song we ever did. It was his first thing he ever did at all. Like, he never recorded a song. And I'd been recording songs for a minute, but it was basically like a little home setup. Like, I literally had a condenser mic, some like... I think it's S1, the SE Electronics X1 maybe.
X1.
The condenser mic they'd made for a while, and I got it in like a kit, but I couldn't afford to buy a stand for it. So I literally had it sitting in a coffee cup, which is, as I know now that I know more about music, is the worst possible.
Cables like, like full doing a 180.
That's how I used to record all my old shit. Is just have that set up in my room on a desk and.
But you used to hold a coffee cup.
No, the coffee cup was
Sit on the desk,
just
it was
there.
my
So imagine this, but like with a cup under it, and with a microphone in
holding
it.
the
It's like
microphone.
echoing in
So it was just bad echo in the microphone. That's why it always sounded like shit. And I was like, fuck.
But like, so what got you guys into music originally? Have you guys always been like into hip hop and everything? Or
I'll let you guys begin that chat.
I wasn't growing up. I wasn't really into hip hop. I grew up in a pretty strict household where they didn't really allow me to listen to shit like that. And then when I became like a teenager, I started finding a lot of different music that I actually enjoyed because I wasn't like into music whatsoever, really. But
good teenagers do.
yeah, my parents were always really into music. Like my dad's a musician himself, and so is a lot of my other extended family. So I do have the natural knack for rhythm and sort of anything that has a good sound to it, but I didn't know what kind of music I liked. So when I found hip hop, it became very different. I actually like fell in love with something for the first time, like musically, and just found myself rapping with my mates and stuff after school. We would rap, and every Friday we would do like freestyle competitions. We were little like street rats, and we would sit there and just everyone would chip in for a joint, and whoever won the freestyle would get the joint at the end. So
that's cool. That's
we'd spend all week at school like thinking up shit, and then eventually after winning a couple, it was just sort of like, yeah, okay, maybe I'll write a few raps as a piss take, as a piss take.
My whole personality around this.
And
winning the joint.
yeah, and some of my mates just caught onto it and just went, man, you should actually maybe try recording a song one day. And I was fucking hesitant, and I was like, I'm not going to do that. And then one of my mates introduced me to Dropbear, who was already recording music in the studio and stuff, and then he's had some lyrics ready, and I've got some lyrics ready, and we just decided to make the song. And I fell in love with it. I was like, fuck yeah, I want to do this, whether it goes somewhere or not. It's just a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, sweet. That's alright then. So then what was the song? Have you like released it recently or anything?
The first track that we did was Take It, the one that we just played then. So that's the very first song that I ever did.
Yeah.
And then I followed up with like another Bipolar song, and then my first solo. And then from there, it's just, we've got like fucking 60 songs. So
yeah, I noticed that. So that's what I was like,
yeah.
We've got to play it as much as we can.
Yeah, and we could have done a lot more than that too, like a lot more. But
we got heaps that just never got
made. Yeah, so.
Yeah. That's sweet. And then, so what about you, Leah? How did you come into the picture with all of this? Like?
So I met Byron I was going to go get a spray tan one night at this. I thought I was going to a salon and ended up in someone's garage, like another garage.
Nice.
And I
Sounds like a horror movie.
No, I was very confused. I was like, where am I? And then I was like,
Then we kidnapped her, and now she's part of BYPOLA.
there's all these boys there, and then Byron was one of them, and I met him. But we ended up like catching up a few weekends later and spoke about music, and I had a recording on my phone because like I've always sung, but like for fun. I've never done it like properly, and I used to do karaoke at like pubs all the time when I was little.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, I showed him something that I had recorded, and he was like, "You need to be on this song I have," and I was like, "No."
Oh, that's cool. That's very cool.
And then we ended up dating each other, so we're a couple.
Yeah, very nice.
And
yeah.
it was just nice to like. But
First
music
power
was.
couple.
That's it, yeah.
Well, we like managed to like, I don't know, music was the thing that really connected us, I think. So.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
a love story right there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, music bringing you
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Girl who doesn't believe in herself meets boy who believes.
He's like, I can make you famous.
I can make you, yeah.
You guys have just come back from a
Sounds like a
national
step-up
tour.
movie.
Yeah.
So you got the lovers over here that met, right? And
Yeah.
then how did you guys know each
We're
other?
lovers too.
See, I'm the third
other
wheel. I mean, so we're not really that. Yeah, it's these two. I just.
Yeah. This is the main thing here. Yeah.
No, so Leah, like, just to continue that, what got you into singing in the first place?
Since I was little, like I've just loved dancing. I always loved dancing, and then singing. My dad kind of pushed me into it, but I used to sing a lot for my nan.
Yeah.
She's passed away now, bless her. But yeah, she used to take me to karaoke, and that was. I'd sing for her because she would just love watching me, and she'd sit there recording me all the time. And there's like photos still on her Facebook of me like little in front of like the microphone. So
Nice, yeah.
that was really like what got me into it, and then I've just always loved doing it.
Yeah, no, cool.
Yeah.
So then, with the name BYPOLA, like, how did you guys come up with that name? And also, where did Dropbear come from as well?
Because it's just fucking awesome.
Nice, yeah.
I feel like
I feel like it's like Aussie, because I'm Aussie
that's
as
to
fuck.
do with your family upbringing. I feel like, you know,
Yeah,
just
like,
the way your
I'm
family
Aussie
is.
as fuck, and like, what's more Aussie than Dropbear?
Dropbear, yeah.
And it's,
Can we Google that? There's some people that don't know what a Dropbear is, but they should do. But you know.
Bipolar is just because we're polar opposites.
yeah.
Look at that
So
first
when we
one.
first started rapping together, one thing we noticed is both of our styles are completely different. Over time, they've melded together a bit more, but they were completely different. But they seemed to contrast each other in a way that was just very back and forth. And we saw it as like it's almost like bipolar. It's like two different people with talking about the same sorts of things, same sort of views on life and shit like that. But it was just so
Totally different upbringings.
yeah.
Totally different, like at that point, views in life and everything.
It was
and
so similar but so different in so many ways.
That's
Yeah.
That's
cool,
where the
yeah.
thing came from.
But then, so like, when was it the first time you guys actually made a record all together? And then, like, with the lyrics as well, like how, you know, like how did you guys just kind of make it?
Well, it was literally because I met Byron through one of our mates, and it was just like
it's a mutual
random-
friend, so
Yeah, like fucking, because I'd just been recording for a little while. I was starting to get really into it, and he was just like, "Oh, you got to meet my mate Byron. Like, he's a good rapper and shit." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever. I hear this shit all the fucking time."
Yeah.
And then like I went round to Byron's house and I heard him rap, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, he's pretty good." But there wasn't. It was like fucking 3 o'clock in the morning. We're all pissed.
yeah, it was a really, really bad time. Like, I made you, yeah. No, it was persistent as fuck for weeks, and we just we were both at that point like, I don't want to meet other rappers. I'm not
Yeah.
really into it, you know, like.
Just like keen to do solo project.
Yeah, and then it turned out that he
We
needed
ended
to.
up like through other avenues, ended up catching up a lot like over the next few weeks or whatever. And every time I'd be like driving home from work or whatever, I'd pop into his house and I'd be like, "Oh, I've got this idea for a song," and I just like rap a couple of lyrics, and then he'd show me something he's got, whatever. And then one day when I was coming home from, well, I was actually driving to Perth from Mandurah because I was living in Mandurah at the time. I just like rapped the hook for "Take It." And then that's when he just spat me a whole verse that just seemed to fit perfectly.
Oh, so
And
for
then-
Take It, you guys all were together.
No, so I wrote it completely
We
before
all
I
wrote
even
it,
knew
yeah.
Dropbear, yeah.
Sorry.
So it was just like a song that he came up to me, was like, "Hey, listen to this," and I just rapped my verse on it too, because back then we were sort of a little bit more like creative, I guess, in a way, and I've gone, oh fuck yeah, let me spit on this for a second. You know, we'd get in circles in my garage, and we had a pool table there, and we were just sitting there and vibe for fucking hours. You know, had a little DeWalt fucking site speaker that I'd plug in and just play DJ Premier beats on loop. And fucking
speaker would only work half the time if you plugged it in right.
yeah, DJ Premier was what got me fundamentally started on flowing, and just being able to freestyle and doing things that I thought were fundamental in hip hop. And I would sit there for hours and hours and hours by myself every single night. Like, I was 18, probably call it my gap year, you know, after school. And I would just sit there and fucking smoke weed and freestyle until 4 in the morning. Yeah, every single night.
I used to go to his house all the time. That's exactly what he'd be doing.
It drove me insane. I walked rings around my like pool table so much that there was a permanent like burn mark in the floor. Like the carpet was worn out as fuck in like this circle just from me just like walking around. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to his house. We came up with this idea for this song from this verse that he'd already written that I didn't know he had. And then I was just like, oh, we need to record this. So we went to my house, tried to record it. It sounded like shit, obviously, because my recording setup was shit and I had no idea what I was doing. And I was like, no, I think this is, finally we've got something good enough that we go to a professional studio and get it recorded. And that's when we hooked up with Shaker, went to Shakedown, and pretty much been recording there ever since.
Yeah, nice. So it's Shakedown Studios, right?
Yeah.
Shakedown Studios.
Yeah.
Yeah, for anyone.
Shaker, legend.
Everyone in Perth who raps knows Shakedown Studios. He does a lot of other stuff too. He even he's got kids, so he works on little projects with them and stuff as well. It's pretty funny. Like, he does a lot of social media interaction. He does. He plays guitar as well. Sometimes he gets session singers in. He's done overseas artists like Mercules. I'm pretty sure Sam even interacted with Ocean Wisdom came here, and Sam who worked at Shakedown Studios took him around Perth. Got to show him some beats and stuff like that.
So then, like, getting back to you guys anyway, so like you guys been going for 8 years, but then like you've made almost like 60 plus songs as well, right? But then like how does it all come together? Because like, how do you go about actually writing a track? Do you just like get like what's been happening recently, or you know how like some people like with bands like emotions, feelings, like,
Yeah.
Depends on the song.
yeah.
We were talking about this the other day actually,
Yeah.
because we've hit a little bit of a creative slump recently, and we both sort of brought it down to the fact that nothing's wrong at the moment. Like, so it's kind of hard to come up. Yeah, like, what do you write about? Like, you can't, you know.
You start creating problems with yourself so you can write about it.
Just start, yeah. Purposely start hating on your job or some shit so you can just be like, fuck this shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's it does get a bit hard, but in general the process will either be one of us will come up with an idea for a song with a hook and like maybe a verse, or we don't even have a verse yet, just have a beat in mind or a rough kind of beat, and then we bring it to the other one and be like, help me out with this. And that's how usually most bipolar songs get made. Sometimes it'll be like basically a pre-made track, I want a verse on this, or sometimes it'll be like I'll play something that I'm working on and Byron will be like, oh yeah, I've got a verse for this.
That's
Like,
awesome. Like, being able to like, bounce off each other and be like, yeah, I think I got something for this.
Yeah, it used to be. I think the way that even starts though is because we used to live together. We worked together, we lived together, so we were around each other all the time. Like, we did sales together and shit. And that just, so whenever I was writing, he'd hear it, and whenever he was writing, I'd hear it. And whether or not we want to get in on it or not would just determine like whether I'm going to be on the song or not. Yeah.
That's sick. That's awesome.
And we prioritized it. Like, we really got fucking hungry at one point, like really, really hungry, like an unhealthy amount. Like, we lived on the street that Shakedown Studios is on. We found a house there, and we were like, fucking, I'm getting this house. It was the worst house I've ever lived in, like the biggest shit fucking, it was just like, get nightmares to this day of this house.
it was a trap house for sure.
Can we Google the address?
Yeah. Sorry to whoever lives there at the moment. I know it's been recently slightly like done up on the outside. It looks a lot nicer than. It's 64 Valentine Road, in Warwick. 64 Valentine.
64?
Yeah.
That's so good though. Just
B. So BALLANTINE.
That's so funny. Just
Yeah, we used to just chill around that house, and fucking Shake was even saying when he came on our podcast.
That's the one
like,
there.
Sometimes like I I used to get people come in the studio and be recording with us. Like, yeah, I'm going over there, goes house after.
There was legit like fucking people had carved shit into the walls. When we got there was like carvings in the walls. There was like what looked like someone had
exactly like that, except way dirtier.
Like,
these are old photos.
and we had 2 dogs living there too, and the whole backyard is made of sand. So, like, it was just sand.
The first night we went there, go back a bit. The first night we stayed there, you see that kitchen bench?
Yeah.
We put 2 fucking studio monitors, I can't remember what ones they were. We put them on that table and we just announced ourselves to the neighbourhood.
We just opened the window.
Cranking music. Like, we had the like real estate warning us like the next 3 days, like, you need to fucking settle down.
This looks so much nicer on these photos than what it was.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a
it.
shithole, man. Like,
Yeah.
Did you say there was gunshots in the wall?
It looked like someone had run through the house and like
It looked
shot
like there
into the
was, like,
wall.
fucking
Because there was just like little holes, like 3 little holes, like at the same level, and they just like blow,
if you ran
like,
your
little
hand
blowouts.
through Byron's carpet, it looked like there was a massive blood stain through it.
It was fucking yeah. That's part of the backyard. We didn't have the curtains up, so they're hiding all the shit behind there.
That's it.
There was no grass.
Have a
It was
mad
all
little
sand.
fucking like a fireplace, old school like barbecue thing.
Yeah,
So every now and then we get the boys around, had like this big steel plate, and we just like have like a bonfire underneath it, and just cook like a roast.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, but you can see like shit's peeling off in the kitchen. The fucking all the cupboards
That's
were
so
just
funny.
gross.
How long were you living there for?
We lived there what for a year? Yeah.
I don't think they wanted us there for long after.
We luckily found a way to get out of there. So
No, that's good then. But then, like, how
That
do you...
aircon doesn't work, by the way, if you're looking to rent this out. That heater doesn't work. Those lights don't work.
that hole has walls. Yeah, that wall has holes in it that aren't in this picture, and the one to the right had like graffiti carved into it. Yeah.
So bad.
There was a fucking mattress on the front yard that I'm pretty sure was still being used when we moved in. Yeah.
Yeah, my dogs were always barking stupid late at night because there'd be like some fucking random crackhead just wandering around out the front, probably shooting up out the front.
That's terrible.
Cop sirens all the time. It was crazy.
What a fucking place. So then what happened after that? After Trump?
I'm not saying Warwick's a bad place to live, but that place.
No, just
That's
that
a
one
bad
house,
use,
man.
I
It's just
promise you.
yeah. The rest of the street's like really nice. Like
It's just that one house.
Just
Yeah.
the shit I've seen in that house is pretty wild. I don't know what happened before we got there, you know?
it's a corner house on the main road. So you get the Greenwood pub is about 20 meters away from it. So you get all the drunk people from there. There was a bus stop out the front, which
And I
we'd
was one of those drunk
find
people.
needles out all the time, like little bottles. Like yeah,
Across the road, why wouldn't you be? You know?
That's it.
it was far too often we'd find a bottle. Like someone would go to the effort of putting their dirty needles in a glass bottle. And then not throw the glass bottle away, so you'd go sit at the bus stop.
out the front of the
Yeah, and it was just like a fucking. It was fucking a hole, bro. Yeah, it was.
Thank God you guys are out of that place.
It looks alright now. We even fucked up the garage at one point as well. We tried to fit a car through that just wouldn't fit through there, and we made it
Like,
fit.
fuck it, let's just push the roller door out of the way.
But everything's been fixed, and that was a different period of our lives, and we've both grown up a lot since then. But yeah,
That's it. Got a little bit older, a bit more wiser.
I've got a girlfriend now. Like, we've got to be semi-presentable.
Leah's got you in line.
A few things went down at that joint that we will not talk about.
Or ever
Before I
again.
met them, so like, you know.
She doesn't know much about this stuff. Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's a news
Crazy
to her as
life.
well.
So what happened after that then with the music and progression? And, like, how long have you been part of Bipolar then as well? Leah?
probably like 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're coming up on 3 years dating, so it'll be at least 2 years.
Yeah.
When was this then? When was the house all
5, 6 years ago.
2019, I think.
And so you guys were just still recording stuff and then like making beats. Well, not making beats, but like, you know, spitting rhymes.
We had our spurts of making beats too, yeah.
Because it is so difficult though, isn't it? Like producing, actually making like really nice clean beats is difficult.
Yeah, we actually,
We'd make some beats and we'd be like, fucking, yeah, it's nice, but it's not as good as what Shaker can make. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I feel
Just
like it's going to be a
practice.
few years of us fucking developing that side of it before we're going to actually be like that. We're happy to put that in our songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, this photo's giving me fucking
Mate, yeah,
flashbacks, It's giving me mad flashbacks. A lot happened in that room there, yeah.
This song that's playing right now, we actually recorded
Made it there,
in
yeah.
that time period.
Really? So what's this song called?
This one is Learning from the Devil.
Learning from the Devil. So what was the devil being the house? Inspiration.
The devil was sort of like the darker side of life that we had just tapped into.
Embraced.
And we
Just embrace
Yeah.
pub across the road.
we seriously loved it. Like, we were really invested in that lifestyle
fucking
more than
animals.
anything, yeah. And yeah, a lot of epiphanies came from living the way that we did. Eventually, it took a long time, mind you. We really didn't pay much attention to the warning signs early on.
Yeah,
But, you know, drug addiction, people coming through that were no good, that we'd live with all the time. Like, you know,
Yeah.
just,
We were just so used to it that it just became second nature. You know?
yeah. It happens though. You just want to have a good time, and then you keep having a good time, but then you just kind of
yeah,
keep finding more ways to have a good time. Right?
yeah.
And then
It's
people
like,
start just sleep on couches and they're like assholes.
oh, there's me getting a ducky tattoo. I have a duck tattoo on my leg. So this is when we went to the Gold Coast.
Yeah, so how often have you guys travelled? Because like, as you said before, you went on a national
There's
tour.
Lucian. Yeah,
Yeah, shout out Lucian.
beers for breakfast.
No.
The last
What a
couple of years
time.
we've really been travelling with our music.
Yeah, we travel a lot in WA, like a lot. We love just getting down south for the fuck of it. So we'll book a show down there. Albany, Margaret River, Bunbury, Bustleton. We even went to Geraldton. We were going to go to Kalgoorlie, but we ended up pulling out of that because of the travel.
Ran
That
out
was,
of money.
we were mid-tour, like doing our national tour, and we'd spent about $4,000 on flights each, and it just did not work out because we were going to have to pay for train tickets there and back, and just what we were running on at the time, we didn't have that, so we had to. Yeah, there you go. There's my little duck.
Because when you do all these interstate shows, it's like it's all well and good that like you sell tickets to it or you get people there and all that kind of stuff. You don't recoup any of your money until like months down the track.
That's it. Well, that's what a lot of people don't realise. That being an artist, being a producer,
You're
or
fronting
a
up a lot of
DJ,
your own money.
Yeah. Like say for me, like I'm a commercial DJ, and it's like the only way I can actually make money being a DJ is by playing 6 hours of ABBA and fucking pop music shit, basically.
Yeah, what people want to hear. Yeah.
That's it. But then the other DJs that are doing nightclubs and play for like 1 hour, you can't survive off that. Same thing with bands as well. Like bands that go and play literally like 2 hour set or whatever it is, and they travel down to Margaret River. Once all the band members are paid, you
It's
barely
like
have
$100 each.
Yeah.
And it's just like you just made your dinner for the night and a couple of beers.
That's
Yeah.
exactly it.
No, we all have full-time jobs. Well, casual. I'm technically a casual too, but I do 50+ hours every week. It's just the way that they run. They don't make you full-time. It's just one of their little tricks. But I enjoy my job. I don't know. I can't speak for these two, but we all
Work's
work.
fucking shit. Who the fuck wants to work?
I
Someone
love
buy my
my job.
music so I don't have to do this shit.
Oh, it's fucking heinous. Don't get me. For the test as well, I'm a very physical person, so I like to use my hands a lot. But
But then,
Yeah.
so with the music, because like then having the full time job, then like how often do you guys do gigs? And how many gigs would you say you've done in total, roundabout?
I wouldn't have a clue how many gigs we've done, but we've done a lot. Like,
Yeah.
early days we were doing them like some weekends we'd do 2 or 3 gigs in a week.
Yeah, nice.
Which is a lot for a hip hop artist.
Yeah,
I know
that
for
is.
bands and stuff, they'd be like, that's rookie numbers. But
Yeah.
like the difficulty is booking that many gigs. But for a while, we were doing heaps of gigs, and then we stopped for a couple of years, and then we came back to it. And we just sort of built our way up to where we did the national tour, and then it was just all these gigs at once.
Yeah, nice.
And now it's just like kind of take a debrief, relax, work on writing and that kind of thing, and start building up to the next tour. You know?
hey, look, there's
So
four UK.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
See, there's 4 UK we were talking about earlier.
Shout out Adam.
What's going on, brother? What's up, Mitch? And Kate. Sorry, we totally ignored Kate earlier.
Yeah.
Love
Okay.
Kat.
Up the bipolar crew, let's go.
How does it work as well for you guys? As like, so all 3 of you on stage, like everyone, like you each get a microphone. How long do you go for as well, because I've been told that, like, you know, some hip hop acts only have like 30-minute sessions or something.
That's a pretty big set in Perth, like when it comes down to it.
30 minutes sort of thing, yeah. We have done like 45-minute sets now.
We've done back-to-back 45-minute sets where he has a set, I have a set, and then we do a bipolar joint set at the end so that we could like when you're doing an hour and a half to 2+ hours of rapping, absolutely fuck you up. Like your voice is gone. So
and the way we do it, a lot of our songs are pretty like high energy. There's a lot of jumping around and that kind of shit. And you don't want to be doing that for an hour and a half. Like,
yeah, and we're rocking with this is like Perth sound systems. It's nothing special. So you gotta yell the whole time. There's otherwise you're not getting over the speakers. Like, yeah.
So then, like, when you guys go on stage, though, like, is it usually just like people, like, say if you go down south, is it you guys and someone else, like support acts, or is it, like you guys joining on, like supporting others, like bigger acts, or
A bit of both.
yeah. Generally, if we go somewhere else, like say if we go interstate or something like that, you want to try and find a few like local supports that you think are dope, and just get them on the lineup, because like not only will it A, bolster numbers, but B, you get to meet new people in the scene that you might get along with, and you might, you know, one day end up doing a track with them or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it adds to the experience, you know.
We always,
local people.
yeah, we always like to add someone who obviously hasn't had plenty of opportunities before. And when you go to a small town, they're not getting hip hop gigs ever. Like there's maybe 2 or 3 times a year. So we'll find someone who seems like they want to do something with their music, have a chance to get a little bit of not exposure but stage time, like for the experience. And yeah, I feel like that's like the first person we'll always hit up, and we'll just work it out from there. We might even hit him up and be like, yo, who's some other dope hip-hop acts that you know of, or if we've heard of them previously. Like,
and like for me personally, like in the world of hip-hop in Australia especially, like most people have had their time with making very fucking subpar music to start off with. So I will rank somebody's like effort and willing to like obviously their music has to be reasonable. It doesn't have to be recorded to the best quality. But I'll rank someone's effort and willingness to like give it a go above somebody who's making the most fantastic music. You know, like
that's it. Sometimes all you need to do is just lend a helping
if
hand.
it just looks like they're having a crack, man, I'm much more likely to put them on. You know. If it looks like they don't need my help, then
there's a
pathway.
few people that since we've worked with them have done like a lot for themselves, and it's nothing to do with us, but it's like now we're connected, now we know these people, we've scratched their back in the past, and then they're willing to scratch our back in the future, especially like over east and stuff. A couple of the boys, shout out DZ and Friendly Fire.
What's their podcast called?
The Firecast, the Firecast.
Chuck it up, Google it, J-Mo.
Chuck it up, brother. Like we put them on for their first gig when we went to Sydney. They're really good too. They're really good.
And they fucking.
And then they shouted me out on their podcast later on without me knowing about it. Played some of my music that I'd recently released. They do a thing like a segment of the like song of the week kind of thing.
Like a breakdown of like.
So it's just little things, you know, and it all adds up in the long run.
Well, that's it. Like, if everyone works together, we all win. But if you just kind of work for yourself, it's like it sucks a bit. Like, because you're just not being selfish, but you're just focusing on just yourself, and then not really like willing to help others or lending helping hand or anything. Is this their podcast here?
Yeah, this is them.
They're all wizards.
This is I think this is a special one. Yeah.
Cocktail special. 80th cocktail special.
And I apologise. Actually, we didn't meet the bloke on the right, but he does the podcast with them, the bloke on the right, but we didn't meet him. But yeah, so it just sort of gets around. Word gets around. We did a Bunbury show when we did our own little tour, and we put on Kai FT. We had some homies that we brought with us, Asthmatic. FT is doing really good things as well now.
I was spewing because when we did the Melbourne show, he was there like a week before us and did the same venue. And like even the people at the venue were like, oh, he was dope, it was sick. Like, And so next time we get back to Melbourne, Kai, come with us, bro. Fucking let's go.
Well, what have you guys,
FT623, Hungry King, let's go.
what have you guys got in the pipeline, like coming up and stuff? Because I remember like before we went live, it's like you guys got an event and something.
In 2 days, yeah, on Saturday night, for
Something
Alta.
different.
It's called different
like clean.
clean events. So the homies Alta and Kane. I met Kane at an Alta video shoot. I actually haven't met him in the past, but they formed a duo and they're called Clean because they're both like ex-drug addicts and they do like a whole positivity thing. It's like conscious rap that they dig into. So
well, that's the thing about it as well, because it's like with, you know, speaking, with lyrics, with hip-hop, with bands, anything, it's like you can do things like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, bands like, what is it, like Faith No More, it's a religious band?
Yeah, yeah.
There's like a religious metal band.
There's so many religious bands that I could play for you right now. But there's no way that is fucking religious.
They are though, right?
Yeah.
So that's it though. Like,
Leah's actually a good example of that too. We've cleaned up our music a lot since she's come into the picture because in my opinion, it has to be worth getting her on the song. And when she's building a fresh discography for herself, you don't want to just throw in some random shit like what we did. We learn from our mistakes, like just making anything and then posting it online.
Yeah.
That'll be there forever. You know what I mean? Like, we can remove it. It's not like people are burning our shit and gonna post it. Like, we're not at that kind of a level. But for her, at least she has a fresh slate and she can make something really good of it. And if we don't come up to par, like up to scratch on what she's able to produce, then it sort of looks bad on all of us. So it brings a whole new perspective into our music as well. It's cleaned up a lot
so
since.
that's where I feel like at the moment we're at a bit of a crossroads where we need to step our shit up to be worthy of not only Leah, to be worthy of what we built for ourselves, to be better than we were before. And so it's difficult because it makes the time that it takes to write a song much longer. So I'm sorry if anybody hasn't heard any new music for a while, but it's like when the finished product's done, it's much better. So
that's it, yeah. That'll take you time. That's it. Like, you know, actually
we're
cook
not
it up
rushing it anymore. We need to get some good shit out. You know?
Well, everything I've heard so far sounds really good.
No,
Like,
cheers, man.
Really good.
Well, we're like,
Next step. It's next
yeah, for us, that's like, there's thousands of people that can make that. You know what I mean? Thousands and thousands. So it's nothing different to the average ear, not to the hip hop head or like the Perth scene fan or the Australian scene fan. We want the average ear around the world to be able to appreciate what we make and like be able to play it back to back with some of your favorite music and not really differentiate in quality. And that's where I think is where our best chance is, you know what I mean? Yeah, because it's still a little bit rough around the edges. I scrutinise my shit more than anybody else out there for sure.
Well, that's the thing. It's like it's your art, and like, that's when it comes. Like I talk a lot about it on the podcast with bands and stuff, and even with DJs, where it's like if you make a mistake, it's like you don't really notice.
Yeah.
It's like if the drummer, for example, is out of time, then everyone knows because it's like a heart lives.
So much the same with like live performances and stuff. Like if I mess up a couple of words, it helps having Byron there to catch the words that I've dropped.
Exactly.
But also like I notice it and I'm judgmental with myself about it. But the crowd, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they're just there having
a good time.
Yeah. But then if you've got the stage presence as well, that's where having a stage presence makes it so much fun, right?
Yeah.
Because then if you guys are bouncing around, jumping around, like, you know, I don't know, throwing the microphone in the air or something, people see that and they're just like, fuck yeah.
Well, that's her. Like, she can tell you she's our secret weapon. She gets more attention at our shows than we do. Yeah.
No, I don't know. Like, I think it's brought a new. I don't know, because you say hip hop to people or rap, and a lot of people go, "Oh, rap," because I think it's not for. There's a stigma, and it's not for everybody. But bringing me in, it's kind of given a new sense where people that don't usually listen to that, it's given them something to be like, oh, because people like singers, you know, they like to hear something a bit different, and it's like, oh, this is kind of cool, you know, you got a singer, you got a rapper, you got some.
It's the girls, man.
It helps a lot when we're on tour and we get like random like walk-ins and stuff like that, because they'd hear Leah sing and they go, oh, that's really interesting, and then they'd see us rapping and they go, I haven't heard this kind of stuff before, you know, like, so it's,
it just like works.
Brings a different dynamic, you know?
What I like though, it shows
it's
is
a
like
more complete picture. I think.
People will see us like walking around and they'll see me and then they'll see me get on stage and they're like, oh, what the heck? Like,
Yeah.
where's this little girl going? Like, what's she on stage? And then I'll sing and a lot of people go like, you don't sound anything what you look like. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect that to come out of you. And it's like, oh.
She gets the females interested as well, like
Yeah.
at every gig, you know. Winning over females in the hip hop scene is a hard task. Like, you either got to be like really good looking, or you got to be like, you got to sound like angelic in a way. Like, you've got to be able to sing or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of them, like the more like hip hop heads, like, you know, they wear the TNs and you got fucking tattoos and shit. Like, they get into hip hop too. They do, and like, there's a bunch of them too. But it's not. That's like 1% of who listens to music. You know what I mean? Not even close. So, when she gets on stage, she gets all the, you know, say a group of club-going females walk past the door, they'll actually like come in and be like, oh, this sounds cool in there too, you know, like
Which is nice.
something you can dance to or some shit, yeah.
Really cool.
Girls supporting girls.
That's it, yeah.
Plus,
You guys-
makes more of a song out of it. It's more rather than just rap, which I love my fucking rap. Don't get me wrong, I fucking love the shit. But like, to appeal to a wider audience, you kind of need something that's gonna catch a bit more attention than that of the hip hop head. You know what I mean?
That's it, yeah.
So-
Yeah, that's it, being
Sometimes
dynamic, right?
So
You
it's
don't want
very
to sit
helpful.
there and listen to someone just going like the whole like and have
Yeah.
multiple artists that sound the same do that for the next 4 hours. Like you're gonna get people walk out.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
need something to bring
Shake
a
it
new.
up.
Yeah, shake it up.
But see, that's what I always say about like techno events or house events.
Oh.
And it's like 4 hours of the same
It's
thing.
a perfect representation of what it's like, yeah.
You're like, oh gosh, stop now. Like,
Yeah,
it's some
that's it.
different beat.
And imagine you don't listen to hip hop and you can't tell the difference between the last 10 beats that have played. You're like, is this the same fucking song? Or is
But like
yeah.
you can see it happen when we're at gigs too, because like it's sometimes like a half an hour set in a hip hop set is generally pretty long for a lot of people. So you get people that'll go out for their fucking smoke break halfway through your set and they'll miss all the good songs, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. The great thing about having Leah is that's about the time when we throw Leah on, and just hearing her sing, everyone goes, "What's that?" And then you start seeing people start to wander back in. And then we can finish with a bang, you know, like because we've actually got all the crowd in there for the end of the set.
That's
so.
good though, that's awesome.
There you go. When we went to Albany was the most recent hip hop gig, and they haven't had one since. And that was like December or something.
Yeah.
The our gig was
Start doing
Oh
some
no, it
gigs
was
in Albany. They
actually it
love
was
this
way
shit.
before that. It was like May last year. December was when we were doing our national tour. So they haven't had a single hip hop gig since.
Since last year.
So that's why it's kind of
Quiet
cool.
down
Like,
there.
if
But
you
then
can
we-
find someone in Albany, which we didn't on that particular gig, but we took our homies with us anyways. But yeah, they don't get anything like that. So they
If there's
showed
any
out.
rappers in Albany, reach out to us too, because we'd like to do another gig there, and I would like to have a look.
I want to come down very soon, actually, like
we
really
were down
soon.
last weekend, but then we
I would like to go do a
So,
little recording, like writing retreat down there or something.
That'd be
Let's go spend a couple of weeks there and write some shit,
That'd be cool.
because Albany's dope.
Yeah, that's not bad, right?
Yeah.
It gets cold down there, but it's not bad. It's not
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the cold, but
Yeah.
it's good.
Do you guys have any videos of you guys playing live and stuff on stage? at all?
We have like montages.
We got like a promo video on that.
And do you have any like music videos or anything as well?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Almost
Play those.
like every song that we think is good, kind of, we make a music video for. So if you go to our YouTube,
So then with the music videos, then like, what's the process? Like, do you have like someone in like just a mate that will make videos for you?
So
Or?
if you just go to our videos, the last one we just posted, I just posted a couple of days ago because I completely forgot about it.
very top one.
We had Sammy MB Films. We had him make up this little like montage of the Perth show of our tour. We had like a party bus beforehand and shit. They had like a few of our mates on it and stuff, so it was good fun.
But yeah, in terms of who we get, it's usually, we used to be Uncle Sam, but he's taken a step back from music sort of responsibilities,
Yeah.
and so we use Sammy MB, but he's also talked
Moving
about
to
moving
England.
to England, so it's going to
So
be
We
pretty
better
tough.
get working on our camera skills, I think.
GoPros don't work in dark light. I'll tell you guys that.
No, so he has a nice setup. Like, anyone we actually pay is going to have some good equipment, because otherwise I can just do it myself.
Well, that's it, yeah.
But our shows, generally the vibe is go off. Like, we get people fucking hammered before they get there, and they just have a sick time.
Yeah. Yeah, we generally try to build a bit of a vibe, as you can see. We get the crowd going. It's
bit of fun.
His misso will put together a jelly shot table before every gig.
Yeah.
She does these famous jelly shots that she makes, and everyone just goes crazy. She's a nurse, so she has all these like empty syringes, like,
Just goes to the
and
hospital
so
and,
she
like,
makes
takes
jelly
them.
shots out of these like empty syringes, and
So much
everyone.
better than
Oh,
using
yeah.
one of those little shitty cups that always crack on you. and
That's
shit.
it, yeah, you get a sticky tongue in it, or stick your
Yeah.
finger in
And
it.
they're always
rub
gone
around.
within fucking 10-15 minutes. She'll make like 80 of these
Like
shots.
4
and
of our
just-
mates get kicked out of the gig as soon as we
Yeah,
get there.
before we even get on the stage, like. But as for music
Oh, yeah,
videos
that's
themselves,
That whole page is just full of music videos, pretty much.
yeah. So all the rest of them are gonna be music videos.
So what, how many videos do you have? Looks like you've got quite a few.
Yeah, fair.
We have more than what's on this page because we both have individual
Old
accounts as
pages,
well.
but
So if
we-
you combine them, there's probably like
Yeah.
50.
Couple years ago, we decided it was best to just post everything on the Bipolar page.
this is Leah's first song,
Yeah,
yours
this is
now.
my
Yeah.
first
Wait, can we pause the Spotify and then we'll unmute this? I should play the audio for this.
Lucien set this up. So this is how we sort of got into a circle with Lucien because he had this little venue in the
Don
city
Massimo.
called DMU, so
Yeah,
Don
that
Massimo
place,
Underground.
Yeah.
And we used to run events twice a week, like at least we do like Wednesday night and then like Saturday night or something.
Yeah,
And he used to do drum and bass.
We used to help him with the they had a rap open mic night there.
Yeah, so
which
we'd come
used to
down
be
every
good
night.
fun.
Yeah, nice.
And he let us use the venue. He heard this song. We were pretty fresh into knowing Lucien, and he offered very graciously to pay for this video. And he was like, I just want you guys to have a good video for this. We ended up getting it really cheap through Sammy as well, because he was tight with Lucien. I invited some homies down. We filled the venue. Got Leah all dressed up. She had professional makeup and everything done. She got her hair
I was
done.
so nervous as well. Like, look now that I'm like 2 years in, if I did a music video, it'd be very different.
Be
Like,
so much better.
I was standing there so scared, like, because everyone was watching me. I was like, oh, but no.
This is still pretty good though.
Thank
Like a local like Perth, like, you know, this is awesome. It's good.
Yeah, so they put like their vision was very different to sort of ours, so we clashed a lot on the filming and editing, but it ended up coming out cool and nothing like how like it's kind of like how I imagined it, but they definitely took it and ran with it.
2.6K though, that's not bad.
Oh, is that many views? Nice. Yeah,
So 2.5K,
yeah, that's really good.
and that's her first song ever. So this is a song I had written before I met her,
Yeah.
and then she just like fit the fucking vibe of it really well. And I wrote a second verse after I met her. So
This sounds awesome. This sounds really cool. By the way, it's just what the structure for it.
You should hear some
Yeah.
of the shit we got to sing it on now.
I know that we've got me and Jason have a song coming out called Addicted, and I think it's my favourite.
Addiction.
Addiction, not addicted, sorry.
Doesn't even know the name of her own
Oh,
song.
stop, no. But it's probably one of my favourite ones that I've done so far because it's the first one that
So
I've got. Like with this one, me and Byron worked really a lot on it because he wanted me to sound a certain way on it, and we worked a lot with that. And then similar with the different song we have. But this one, Jason, it was very last minute. He's like, listen, I got a song I want you on. I got to the studio, he threw his phone at me and was like, right, sing that. And I was like, okay. So I
Well,
got
it was kind of like because I had an idea for a hook. I
Yeah.
recorded my part of the song, and in between, while Shaker was doing like all his like mixing and stuff, me and Byron, I was like, so what do you think of the hook? And he's just like, oh, we could change this, we could change that. We ended up completely rewriting the hook before she got there into something completely different.
yeah,
And
'cause,
so
like,
we kind of were like, we like this idea. We're not entirely set on how it's supposed to sound, but that's your job.
yeah.
And so she got to run with it, and it was really cool.
Which was
Like,
fun because like I'm getting more confident every time we go to the studio, and like I'm playing with like ways my voice can sound and like pushing myself. Where before like this first one I was
Nerves,
so
yeah.
nervous and just sung like those lyrics. Was,
we
like,
had to
that's
turn all
me.
the lights off in the studio and shit so that
And now
no
I
one could
get
see her
to turn the lights
singing.
off and I just dance while I'm singing in there because it's like I can really just let
Yeah.
go now.
That's good though. That's awesome because
Yeah.
then you can get in the zone.
I know.
Yeah.
In the energy.
Well,
right?
with this one, what was Rob saying to me? He's just like, saying, "Oh, think sassy thoughts, like." He's
With
like,
Addicted, yeah,
Yeah,
and
be sassy with it, like. I
like
want
give
you
it
to-
some character and
Yeah, so-
some attitude.
Yeah.
attitude. That's
yeah,
the word he
that's what it was.
used.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
no,
that's
it's
awesome.
fun. Like we have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So then, how long does it take usually to be able to make these? Well, there you go. Thank you. Lucian's was up there.
Yeah, well, so we thanked Don Massimo Underground. We'll shout out all the. So yeah, Amy and Sammy did it. Thank you, Lucien Black, because he just got it all together. Don Massimo was the venue.
It was such a cool venue.
On my
Yeah.
day.
It was.
Yeah.
It was so
Such
cool.
a shame.
It was so cool. But they didn't
welcome
agree
to
with the
Perth.
vision that Lucien had, and they wanted
Venues
something
don't
else.
always work out.
No, that's it.
They had fucking business while we were there, though.
We
Like,
fucking would have made them so much money.
everyone's drinking the $5 exports all night on a Wednesday night. You know, they'd stay open till 12 o'clock.
Wednesdays when
So
we'd have the open mic night, it was like we'd have some nights. Don't get me wrong, with the open mic where there'd be like 5-10 people there. But there was some nights where it was fucking packed.
And this was still like
Because
everything
as the
used to be
word started to get around, it got more and more popular. Because when I first started doing hip hop, the first shows I got on was just like open mic at the end of someone's show. That used to be every show would do that back in the day. So I just jump up for the open mic, chuck my beats in, and let's go. You know.
yeah,
But yeah, a lot of people just want to fucking cut their teeth on something, and there's nothing out there to do it anymore.
Yeah, so what were you saying just before?
I was just saying it was like at a time as well where you still needed your like ID card to say that you were vaccinated to get into
Yeah.
places. So like the fact that people were coming and stuff was really cool because you know the
They were
world
going
was
through
still
like mid-COVID.
just coming out.
I had a
of all
fucking
of that.
fake vax card thing, like
Yeah,
that.
Ryan had a fake
I
one.
always had to use it to get in, man. Yeah.
Very nice.
Because it was Lucien was running the venue, but he was hiring it from someone who owned the venue. So,
That's it, yeah.
and they were actually a cafe, and then they just happened to have this underground
Basement, yeah.
basement. Yeah, so
Yeah, I remember going there a couple of times.
yeah.
They had a few like drum and bass.
If you were,
That's it. I was involved. I was wanting to get involved with that.
we probably met you there then, because we were almost there every single time.
Because I think I only went there maybe twice or 3 times, but I didn't really stick around for long.
Yeah, no, some people just floated through. Some people were there religiously every time. Practicing, it's good practice, you know.
Yeah, it was just so central though.
Yeah.
So central.
Yeah, you could park at CPP, free parking after 6 p.m. and
That's
the
it.
doors only
Yeah, but
opened
don't
at
park
like
there
7.
after
The money
12.
I'd
That's
buy.
it.
Got my car locked in there. one
Yeah, we got
night.
a car locked in. We were taking the piss at the venue, and then we got back and
And
the
the whole
gates were
gate
closed.
shut, and we're like, oh, and it was my mum's car too, so I was like, oh, she's gonna kill me.
Had to get a train home from the city.
Few arguments on the way home, eh?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was fucked.
So we're running out of time, but then what was the national tour like? So like,
Fucking sick.
and like, where did you go, and how long was it for, and like, how did it all come together as well?
We did 5 cities, including Perth. So we went from here to Adelaide to Gold Coast, and then we came back to Perth for 2 weeks. Then we flew out to Melbourne and Sydney to finish it off. And then when we came back from Sydney, we did our Perth show.
Yeah,
So we were all pretty sober the whole time, to be honest. We really wanted to focus up. Like, if this was a few years ago, it would have been an absolute nightmare, because
Which is why it didn't happen a few
We
years
got-
ago. We couldn't be that organised for that long.
in total we took 8 flights. So just organizing it all over the like 2 weeks that we had, it was just rough as fuck. Like, we spent less than 6 hours in some hotels, you know what I mean? So
Really?
like, I think Melbourne was the shortest one that we really spent time in. We got there at like 4 or 5 p.m. or something. The hotel that we had booked.
No, we got there at 5:30 a.m.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's right. We got
Hotel's gone into liquidation.
so we got there and they were closed.
There's a
There.
sign on the door saying anybody who's booked a room, we're sorry. It's fucking.
That's right. We got
We just
the.
said find a new accommodation. We can't help you. Sorry.
Right.
Like,
Then we had to wait until another one opened, so we went around
But you already
Melbourne.
paid for that as well.
Yeah. Paid for the accommodation, and then we got there and just fucking cruised around Melbourne just with all of our shit. Like, we luckily found a little spot where they let us leave our suitcases, because we were going to be staying there, but we couldn't book into the room yet.
Yeah.
So we just like left our shit there, carried our backpacks around, and just wandered through Melbourne. Came back to the hotel room. As soon as we got there, we had like a nap. Went to the venue. When we got back, we had to wake up at 6 a.m. to get a flight out of Melbourne to Sydney.
Wow.
And then
And we rocked up to the Sydney show, and the Sydney show was really fucking cool. Shout outs to Verse, One Out, all those guys.
Yeah,
They
DZ
made
and
it-
Friendly
and
Fire.
also the fucking
DZ. Friendly
DZ,
Fire.
Friendly Fire, those guys. That show was sick, 'cause we rocked up and we're like, it's like a seated venue, and we have never really done a seated venue before, and
Yeah, how would that be? Because
we're all tired.
Shit,
We're all
It was a
tired.
jazz
We
club.
we just got off planes. We're hungover as fuck.
Yeah.
I had COVID unknowingly.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so it was just generally the vibe was like, let's just get this done and go home. And then, again, shout out to the boys. They put on a good show and brought our energy back up, and we were fucking happy to do it. It was fucking good time.
Yeah.
Very different to what you'd expect, to be honest. Not glamorous at all. It was fucked. It was a lot of fun doing the shows when it came into the venues, but all the rest of it.
Venturing around and shit too.
Yeah, like seeing the sights and that, but we're all dead. Like, you know, running on 2 hours sleep, and we're sitting on the Sydney Harbour like tour boat, and we're just like, yeah, this is cool, but like I'm also feeling like shit, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, there's the bridge. Okay, cool. Like, there's the house. Yeah, all right, let's fucking move on. Yeah.
Me and Lucien just steadily had a buzz going the whole time, so
we were drinking a lot of beers. we did a lot of beer tasting, but
it was just a steady buzz though. I don't think that, like, we were talking
we
about
never
it when
got
we
like
back.
drunk.
I don't think we were ever drunk the entire time we were there. We were just steadily like, because there's so long in between where you get to some place where you can have a beer, so it's like you have 2 beers here, an hour later you have another 2 beers, and then fucking 12 hours later you might be a bit tipsy, but you're not shit-faced. You know?
I think the most you drank was probably at the airport. Or
at the airports,
post-show.
Because you're waiting for like 6 hours, you're just bored as fuck.
Yeah, go to the pub,
And Gold Coast, like after that show, you guys had a bit of time. So.
Yeah.
But
that's when we drank. Yeah, that was
so
cool.
excited after.
And it was Monty's birthday.
Yeah.
So yeah, we celebrated.
By the way, Coas and Monty were great on that tour.
Yeah, they came with us too.
Yeah.
So yeah, as in terms for tour, a lot of fun. When we got back, sort of realised we need to put our heads together with music instead of shows. So that's why we've been a bit absent from doing shows.
No, that's fair. Are
To
you guys
summarise,
planning on doing another one at all, or?
maybe next year.
Yeah, sweet.
After we have a little bit more material, now that we've planted the seed in each city, we can gain some followers over there. And spread the word a bit before we do it again. Like, some of the venues turned out really good, and some of them turned out pretty fucking average. Like, but that's just
venue for it, like.
That was really fun. It turns out the following night, was it Johnny Cash went there to record a music video?
No, it wasn't
was it
Johnny
not
Cash,
Johnny
it
Cash?
was,
What's his name? Johnny Cash is dead. No, what's his
It
name?
was fucking what's his name?
John Farmer?
John. No.
No, it was
Bruce Springsteen?
No, the Aussie, Jimmy Barnes. Jimmy Barnes. I said Johnny Cash. Jimmy Barnes.
yeah, Jimmy Barnes like recorded
Same
a music
syllables.
video there like the next night.
So it's like a weird little jazz club, like full like.
It's
red
actually like a
upholstered.
really cool venue. Like fucking,
what's it
I would
called? Let's
love to
pull it
film
up.
a music video.
What was that something? But
Lazy Bones
Lazy Bones.
Lounge in.
There was mirrors all over the roof and shit. They had heaps of like sexual art like
the
everywhere.
Yeah.
They had
That's
one
it
of the
there.
musicians
The
painted
photos don't
massive
do
on
it
the
justice,
wall. Like the
no,
roof, it
it
was
was pretty
really
well.
nice.
That's the venue there. Yeah.
The photos do not do it
So the
justice.
stage is all the way up at the
looks
end there.
incredible, though.
It looks like an
It was
1800s brothel.
Yeah, like that's what it was like. Yeah. So that's from the stage. That's the view.
Like it's a jazz club, so it was very, very jazz. Like they had like all sorts of stuff
Wow.
in there.
It's cool though.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's random shit all over the walls.
So in the bathroom, I swear it was haunted because they had like, because the building it's in is obviously a very old building, and it looked like they had photos from the old house that it was, and there was like these weird little like baby photos in there. And I was like, this is a bit sus, eh?
It was definitely like an old. It looks like it feels like an old gambling lounge,
Yeah.
basically. Like
That's
there's
cool.
that's like a corner stage where there's like a late night show. You know, they play piano and shit like that, like jazz. And then the
People just
main
get
stage
drunk as
is
fuck
pretty
and smoke
big.
cigars
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah, dude, like
No, it was a really cool.
puffy
venue.
stuff. I don't know. like well, I shouldn't say that, but you know,
It looked. It
cigars.
felt.
Yeah, no, it was-
Alright, so here,
Yeah.
it felt like somewhere where Tom Waits would play.
Yeah, that's it.
Like he just do a random pop-in show at a place like that.
There was a massive mural on the roof that we only noticed like halfway through the night of like this weird sex pose, like massive.
yeah, you
like,
said before. Yeah.
yeah.
So it was,
So weird.
It was like the Indian blue man. And
Yeah,
then
the Kama Sutra
woman
pose.
in all her like Indian stuff.
We're like,
But it
oh
was
wait,
cool, man.
they're fucking.
Well, that's the good segue into like, what's the funnest gig you guys have ever done?
Oh damn, that's so hard because we've done hundreds of gigs.
Well, like, what's the? I don't know.
One of the most memorable for me was either my first gig that we did for Downside,
That's
because
probably always going to earn one of my favorites.
or
So good.
Because it was the first time he'd ever got on stage. It was one of my first times on stage, and I think I'd been on stage like 2 times before that, and by the time we got on stage, because it was Downside's like comeback show, it was a packed house.
It was a capacity,
It was
yeah.
at capacity. They would, like, our mates couldn't get in, you know, and it was like, and what was weird was because we just released that song "Take It," which kind of actually got a fair bit of momentum, and as we were doing like the hook, there was people in the crowd singing it back to us.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
And so it was just like an
awesome.
overwhelming emotional moment. Like everything's led up to this, and I feel like if we didn't have that moment, we wouldn't have carried that momentum into everything we're doing now.
Yeah.
So shout out Downside, and thanks for all your help in getting us that.
Yeah, nice.
And Shaker for putting us up to Downside for that.
That sounds. Whereabouts was that one?
It was called Jimmy's Den.
Den.
Shut down since. It was like a 250 cap venue. It actually was an old gambling venue. It was kind of similar to vibes to that place, but it wasn't
Like a
seated.
basement thing.
Yeah,
Whereabouts though? Like Jimmy's down in.
in the
there you
city,
go.
yeah.
Oh, Northbridge, really? Jimmy's down.
I don't know if it's still open.
No, these are probably just old, but
Yeah.
300 weeks ago.
It was, yeah, it's sort of like,
400
you know, Bar 459?
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine that just like bigger, like
Bigger but underground.
bigger and underground.
That's cool. I had no idea that was even there.
Yeah, and I had some seating like on the side, sort of like Linnet's Lounge.
Yeah.
Otherwise, a gig that Leah's been part of,
Yeah, I was
Gold
about to
Coast,
ask that.
that was
Gold
my
Coast was
other
awesome.
favourite one.
That was my least favourite out of all the shows. They loved that.
She had a shit time for some reason, but
I didn't really like her.
Why didn't you have a good time?
Probably because it was a dingy punk rock club.
It wasn't very. It was, yeah, it was
The
gross.
toilets just stunk
The
and
toilets were disgusting. Like, you wanted to vomit when you walked in.
But it was awesome. It was punk rock as fuck.
You guys were fine. You're not a girl.
Can
so-
we look it up?
You should have seen the green room of this joint. It was excellent. It
What was
I
the
felt
venue?
at home.
what
I
was
had to
that
sit
venue?
down
Like
on
we were in
that
Warwick
gross
again.
thing.
What was that venue called?
Vinny's Dive Bar.
Yeah, Vinny's Dive Bar.
It's sick.
And we ended up
Actually,
packing it
my
out, you
favourite
know. So
venue in the
that's why I
country, but-
enjoyed it, because we had like a little bit of success on the tour that we thought was absolutely not gonna work. You know
Like
what I
just a
mean?
fluke almost, and
There's
just
a
like
lot of people.
packed
I think
up.
I just didn't like it because I was being a bit critical of myself with my singing.
She
that
just didn't
night.
like her own performance.
performance,
So
and then that just made me not like it.
Because that's
Yeah.
how selfish she is.
Thanks, man.
yeah, that's it there. So one of those with the
so
crowd.
That's like where you hang up all your merch and shit, and then the band.
So it's
that's
small,
where we-
yeah.
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah.
But it was very similar to that, just like heads all the way to the back.
Dingy little hole, but it's fucking sick.
And the bar staff there and the actual like owners of the venue were really cool.
Really cool.
They had no high hopes for us, and they even at the end of the night were like, we didn't want to do this, but you guys proved us wrong. Like
Yeah.
we had a sick time. They let us shove a bunch of beers in our bag and fuck off. And yeah, like they were really cool about it. They're like, anytime you want to come back, honestly,
They were like, next time do the big room, and we're like, I don't know
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, 'cause they have
There's a
bigger
big
and
room
joint
next door,
tuned
yeah.
into that one.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
sweet. That's
It was
awesome.
dope. I liked the little packed out, smelly hole that it is.
It was a cool venue, but yeah.
yeah, it had a backstage and
toilets,
shit, which was really cool.
Yeah.
It was a bit more like what you want when you go on tour.
It's very
because-
punk rock.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
punk rock.
heaps of just punk rock posters and
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like Joe's Juice Joint in a way.
yeah, Joe's Juice. Oh my god, I'll never go back there. I've been there once and I just turned around when I got in the door. It just stunk like feet and smoke machine. And I was like, I'm never fucking. Someone was like amping us up to go there, and I just walked in and I swear I saw someone without their shoes on, and I was like, I'm not fucking staying here. Like, get out of
He's
there.
a bit posh old bro.
Nah, that was a bad night.
Yeah. No, that was a rough one.
But yeah, so that's a little bit about us, I guess.
Yeah, that's awesome.
If that helps, is there anything else you wanted to
No, that's pretty
cover?
good. Well, so let's go on your Spotify, and then so like you've released a couple of EPs by the looks of it.
Yeah, so we've
because we
done an album to start off with. I should probably mention that we both got our own Spotifys as well. So if you struggle finding some of the music that we have, I've got my own Spotify, and so does Dropbear. Mine's Byron Elliot, and his is Dropbear. Everything Leah's on that's released is on BYPOLA.
Are the two on Bipolar?
Oh, actually no, I'm lying.
I've
There's
got one song on Bipolar, which is Home, and then the two.
This
other
is
two
my
I'm
one,
on
yeah.
Is Yours Now and My Madness. Is what I-
these are my
Nice.
more
that
recent ones.
And there's heaps of shit on Drop There. I've had.
That's my
two
first
EPs and
album,
a
yeah.
bunch of singles.
19. That's when I was 19. I made that.
Oh wow, so right back in the beginning.
And the song 19 on there's my favourite song. Byron's one of my favourites.
Is this you? Yeah.
Title track. So this
Yeah.
is dropped there.
Oh, you should see that music video. It was
They're
actually
my
pretty funny.
sunglasses he's got on in that photo.
Yeah, that was actually funny as fuck how that worked out.
What music video is that? Because
Show me up.
Shoot me up. Do you say?
Show
Show me up. Shoot me up, brother.
Shoot
No, I mean we were back.
I never stooped to that level.
Imagine if they were the lyrics or Jason to like
Shoot me up, shoot me up. Falls asleep halfway through the song.
Yeah. Like that shot in the pool, I'm just like, oh, it's
But yeah, so we've got like a couple. We really need to integrate our pages and figure it all out. But we're fucking rappers,
that'll
not
be on Dropbear's
managers.
one. Oh,
No,
no,
it's
no,
there.
it's not. Oh, it is on that one.
Yeah, some of our videos, the singles are on like the BYPOLA account. So yeah, a lot of good times.
Did you guys ever?
Uncle Sam did this, he was fucking, he did a good job.
Did you guys ever see yourself like when you were younger actually doing this and going on a national tour and stuff like that at all?
I did, but I thought I'd be in like a metal band, to be honest.
Or? Nice. Same thing but different.
Yeah.
What about you guys though?
I've always, like, since a kid, for some reason wanted to be like well known for something. Like I didn't know what it was gonna be at all.
I guess
But
that's
I
the
always-
same for me. That's
I guess every kid sort of has that though, you know. So it's not like to a point where it was like I was hell bent on this since I was a child at all. Yeah, I think it's just one of those fantasies that every kid sort of has, is to become famous and you know, live that sort of lifestyle. And then when you get a bit older, that stops becoming the goal, and you sort of do it more
most
for
people
the.
give up on their dreams.
It's more for the personal interactions that you get along the way. Like, it'd be real weird not being able to even like walk out in a crowd full of people because you get attacked by like fans and shit. I feel like that would suck, to be honest. Like, it would be great being that level of famous, don't get me wrong, but there would be so many downsides to it where you like your life would change forever too. So
That's it.
Well, plenty of times it would have been
irreversible change too. Like, whether you stop making music or not, like,
still
people
a
are still gonna
celebrity,
know who you are.
Yeah, that's it. Imagine how shit it would be. Like, I've seen videos of like Kanye's just trying to go to his house or something, and like he opens the garage and there's just people straight on.
just like
swarm.
fucking
Like, no wonder
flashing
these
lights.
people lose their fucking minds, dude.
That's it. Just
Pretty
like
much.
how Kanye has.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how long did it take to shoot this music video then?
Six hours or 7 hours. This one.
That's not bad. Only 6-7 hours. That's right.
Yeah, we
That-
saw.
that fucking kimono, because we shot this at my missus' parents' house, and Mal had a fucking random kimono he's never worn, and I just got out of the pool because obviously in the video Byron pushed me in the pool and I didn't have any clothes, and they're like, why don't you just wear this for the last bit? I'm like, that's actually sick, let's do that. So,
And you got to keep the
and then I
kimono.
chucked her sunnies on. It was sick.
Yeah, nice. And so what's
And
this?
that actually leads into the Deadweight video.
Yeah, okay.
It's like a weird little like Easter egg in there.
So then what was the story behind that track then?
The whole premise of the song is like fucking just partially about me and Byron, and about how like every time he makes a song and I go, that's fucking dope, it makes me do better. So it's like, show me up, like make me better.
That's
Yeah,
cool
so
though.
like and same with Byron, same with
Competitive
anybody.
nature,
Like
yeah.
anytime I see somebody doing well, rather than getting bitter about it, I just get better at what I'm doing.
That's a good way to do it.
Don't get bitter, get better. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no point like getting jealous, but at the same time being like, you know, I reckon improve myself
Yeah.
and get
Oh,
to
it's
that level.
always been a healthy competition between anyone that I make music with.
There's
If-
never a fucking bitter bone in my body. I'm happy for anybody's success. I just like, it will fuel me to try and outdo
To do
you.
better, yeah.
But that's it's a good way to look at it though. It's a very good way
Hell
to look
yeah.
at it. Yeah, we should probably wrap it up because we're like 5 minutes over. But
Yeah,
cheers
all
so
good,
much
man.
for coming on there,
Nah,
guys.
all
Like,
good. Thanks for
alright.
having us.
It was
Yeah.
cool to meet you.
Yeah,
This
that's
is a
it.
Cool
and I
setup
hope
you
everyone
got.
enjoyed us chatting shit.
There's
Yeah,
a
well,
cool
I
cat
think I-
sitting here. You guys can't see. He's just been chilling.
And I was
If
going
you've
to
seen
if
me
you
just
saw me here looking
pat-
down, he's over here. It's because I
I
have
know.
a cat.
Yeah,
I'm just being weird.
when you guys get your podcast going again, you should get me on.
Yeah.
We'll do it again for
Yeah,
sure.
that'd be awesome.
It was really cool when we did it. We had some cool guests, like really sort of just like every time sort of leveled up a bit. Like we had Rob Shaker on there, we had Azzy on there, we had Omac, fucking, there was a bunch of shit. 4UK,
Yes.
Coas, yeah.
Got some money.
So yeah,
Yeah, nice.
if they fire that back up, then for sure. It'd be cool to have you on the other side of the mic, eh? Not asking the questions and answering.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm sure you're getting sick of it. Sick of only asking and not answering.
Like, I reckon it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
On the other side of the mic. I've only ever done it once.
Yeah.
And it was okay. But then like doing it as just like a casual setting. Cause
So how did you get this podcast started?
That's it.
Yeah.
Deep questions, right?
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Well, funnily enough, Bustleton. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's it.
Local.
But yeah, cheers so much for coming on though, you guys. So,
You're welcome, man. Thanks for having us.
man.
yeah. And then that's it. And like in the future, I'll get you guys back on. And then if you guys are keen for panels or anything like that, and sort you guys out and
Fuck yeah.
get like more episodes happening. So
Yeah.
We'll come to a cypher or some shit for you.
yeah, well, that could be
Yeah.
cool. Well, I'll tell you guys something after the podcast.
Okay.
We haven't released it properly yet. So, but yeah, cheers
Ooh,
guys
we
for
got the scoop.
watching though, and we'll see you guys
Peace.
next week with. Just give me a second. Next week we have
Kanye West.
guest appearance. Oh, it's July next week.
Can anyone see that
Dan
board?
McBride coming on. Pardon?
Is there any cameras that ever show that board? That's pretty impressive. The amount of people that have been here.
No, but we get photos after though.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we put that on Facebook.
There's like a big board here. Where there's like
You
100
can't see it, but it's over there.
Lots of signatures.
It's over there behind you.
It's over there though.
It's behind you. Turn around.
Turn around. Yeah.
All right, cheers guys. We'll
Nah.
see you next week.
Yeah.
Laters.
All right, see ya. There you go.